Hello and good morning to one and all. I, Sheikh Aram from Sri D.D. Vispute College of Pharmacy. I am pharmaceutic student first year. Under the guidance of Mr. Sunil Bakliwal sir, I am going to present my seminar on pulmonary drug delivery system. Due to coronavirus pandemic, I am presenting this seminar online. So stay at home and be safe. This is the content I am going to take in this seminar. So let's begin with the introductory statement and some of pulmonary drug delivery system advantages and disadvantages. Let's see the introduction of PDDS. Pulmonary drug delivery is primarily used to treat conditions of the airways, delivering locally acting drug directly to their site of action. So basically we use PDDS in order to treat respiratory diseases by delivering the drug directly to its site of action. Delivery of anti-asthmatic and other locally acting drug directly to their site of action reduces the dose needed to produce a pharmacological effect, while a low concentration in the systemic circulation may also reduces the side effect. So basically the main advantage of the PDDS is that inhaled drug delivery puts the drug where it is needed in order to produce pharmacological effect. So it requires very low a fraction of dose. The drugs which are administered by pulmonary route are not only for lungs delivery, but it goes to systemic circulation and produce the effect where it is desired throughout the body. So some of the pulmonary drugs undergoes into systemic circulation also in order to produce a desired effect. One of it example is ergotamine tartrate, which is used in order to treat migraine and some of the volatile anesthetics like haloethane. Let's see the advantages and disadvantages of PDDS. Advantages: inhaled drug delivery puts drug where it is needed. It requires low and fraction of oral dose. Pulmonary drug delivery have very negligible side effect. Onset of action is very quick. Degradation of drug by liver is avoided. In asthma and diabetes, requires long-term treatment. If it is given by pulmonary drug delivery, safety is maximum. Disadvantage: low efficiency of inhalation system, poor formulation stability for drug, improper dosing reproducibility. Next is aerosol. Aerosol is a pressurized dosage form containing one or more therapeutic active ingredient which upon actuation emit a fine dispersion of liquid and or solid material in a gaseous medium. Basically aerosol is a pressurized dosage form into which one or more active ingredient is embedded. When we activate it, actuate it, it will emit a fine dispersion of liquid and a solid material into a gaseous medium. The components of aerosols are propellant, container, valve and actuator, product concentrate. Now we will take this component of aerosol one by one. So first is propellant. Propellant is responsible for developing proper pressure within the container. Propellant will basically create a proper pressure within the container, and it will provide a driving force to expel the product from the container. There are the types of propellant. First is liquefied gas propellant and second is compressed gas propellant. Liquefied gas propellant. It exists as liquid under pressure. Because of the aerosol is under pressure, propellant exists mainly as a liquid, but it will also be in the headspace as a gas. The product is used up as the valve is opened. Some of the liquid propellant turn to gas and keep the headspace full of gas. In this way, the pressure in the can remain essentially constant and the spray performance is maintained. It means propellant exists in a liquid form because the aerosol is under pressure and some of the propellant will occupy the space above the liquid in the can, that is in the headspace. When we use up the product, some of the liquid propellant turn into gas and keep the headspace full of gas, and in this way pressure in the can remain constant and spray performance is maintained. Some examples of liquefied gas propellants are chlorofluorocarbons and hydrocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbons are the propellant of choice for oral and inhalations. Some of its advantages are chemical inertness, lack of toxicity, non-flammability, lack of explosiveness. Its disadvantages are high cost, it depletes the ozone layer. Examples are dichloro-difluoromethane propellant 12. Hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbon can be used for water-based aerosol and it also used in topical purpose. Advantages are it's an expensive, excellent solvent, it does not cause ozone depletion. Disadvantages: inflammable, unknown toxicity. Example, propellant A31. Compressed gas propellant. Compressed gas propellant occupy the headspace above the liquid in the can, while the liquid gas propellant exists in a liquid under pressure. So this is the difference between liquefied gas propellant and compressed gas propellant. So when we open the valve of the aerosol, the gas pushes the liquid out of the can and the amount of gas in the headspace remain the same, but due to the presence of more space the result pressure will drop down. So the spray performance in compressed gas propellant is maintained, but we have to choose the proper aerosol valve and actuator. Its examples are carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide and nitrogen. So the next component is container. So they must be able to withstand pressure as high as 140 to 180 psig pound per square inch gauge at 130 degree Fahrenheit. That is the aerosol container. So the types of containers used are metal and glass. In metal, we generally use tin plated steel and stainless steel, and in glass, the types are uncoated glass and plastic coated glass. So let's see tin plated steel and stainless steel container. It consists of sheet of steel plate and this sheet is coated with tin by electrolytic process. And this coated sheet is cut into three pieces, that is in top, bottom and body. The top and bottom part are attached to body by soldering process. Soldering usually means that our atoms are joined together by melting and putting a filler metal into the adjoining metal. Some of the tin plated steel container coated with organic material to avoid product reaction with container or to avoid metal toxicity. So it is usually coated with oleoresin, phenolic, vinyl or epoxy coating. Now stainless steel. It is used for inhalation aerosol and its advantages are extremely strong, resistant to many material, no need for internal coating. Disadvantages are it is costly. Next is glass container. These containers are used because of its absence of incompatibility and because of its aesthetic value. These containers are limited to the product having a lower pressure 33 psig and lower percentage of the propellant. It is generally used for topical and for metered dosage inhaler aerosols. It is generally divided into two types. The first is uncoated and second is plastic coated. In uncoated, it is of less cost and high clarity and content can be viewed at all time. In plastic coated, these are protected by plastic coating that prevents the glass from shattering in the event of breakage. Next component is valve. Valve is used to deliver the drug in desired form and to give proper amount of medication. The types of valve are continuous spray valve, high speed production technique, metering valve, and dispersing of potent medication at proper dispersion of liquid material at one time use of same valve means delivering of potent medication of liquid material and one time use of valve. Components of valve are mount cap, valve body and housing, stem, gasket, spring and deep tube. Next component is actuator. So these are the specially designed button which helps in delivering the drug in desired form, that is in spray, wet stream, foam or solid stream. The types of actuators are spray actuator. It is generally used for topical preparation such as antiseptic, local anesthetic and spray on bandages, etc. So it allows a stream of product concentrate and propellant to pass through various opening and dispense as spray. So basically it helps propellant to pass through various opening and dispense in a form of spray. Foam actuator. So it consists of large orifice which ranges from 0.070 to 0.125 inch in order to deliver desired product in the form of foam. Solid stream actuator. These actuators are required for dispensing semi-solid preparations such as ointment. And special actuator. These are used for specific purpose. That is, it deliver the medicament to the appropriate site of action. Example: throat, nose, gentle and eyes. Now let's see some of the recent advances in pulmonary drug delivery system. Nebulizer. We use nebulizer in order to deliver the drug to the respiratory tract for the treatment of hospitalized patient. There are two types of nebulizer, the ultrasonic and the jet nebulizer. Let's see how ultrasonic nebulizer work. The ultrasonic nebulizer uses a piezoelectric crystal vibrating at a higher frequency to generate a fountain of liquid in the nebulizer chamber. The higher the frequency, the smaller the droplet produced. Basically, in ultrasonic nebulizer, high frequency sound waves are produced in the liquid in the nebulizing unit, and as a result, the small droplets are produced by the surface waves, and the droplet thus produced are conducted away by the airstream and are inhaled by the patient. Next is jet nebulizer. In jet nebulizer, compressed gas passes through a narrow orifice, creating an area of low pressure, or the pressure over the tube decreases, and as a result, formulation is drawn into the gas stream and nebulization is achieved due to higher shear rate in the jet stream. Let's see some of its advantages. The nebulizer can transport more drug to the lungs than metered dosage inhaler. The treatment of acute asthma in an emergency care unit. Rapid absorption, higher bioavailability, therefore lower doses. Avoidance of liver first pass metabolism. Avoidance of metabolism by the gastrointestinal tract. Its disadvantages are lack of possibility, higher cost, the need for higher drug doses to achieve a therapeutic result. Next is metered dose inhaler. We use metered dose inhaler for the treatment of respiratory diseases such as asthma and COPD. It can be given in the form of suspension or solution. Its particle size should be less than 5 macros. It is used to minimize the number of administrations error. By MPI, we can deliver the amount of medicament accurately. Now let's see some of its advantages. It delivers specified amount of dose, small size and convenience. It is usually inexpensive as compared by nebulizer. It is quick to use. Accurate coordination between actuation of a dose and inhalation is essential. Its disadvantages are: it is difficult to deliver high doses. There is no information about the number of dose left in the MDI. Next is evaluation of PDDS. Cascade impactor. Stream of particles projected through a series of nozzles and glass slides at high velocity. Larger particles are impacted first on lower velocity stage, and smaller particles are collected at higher velocity stage. The stages are normally assembled in a stock or rho in order of decreasing particle size. As the jet gets smaller, the air velocity increases such that smaller particles are collected. In cascade impactor, it contains a series of stages within decreasing sieve size. So when we pump the aerosol into the nozzle, it will pass through different stages of impactor. So at high velocity, larger particles are impacted first, and on low velocity, smaller particles are impacted or collected. And at the end, the particle at each stage is recovered by the help of a suitable solvent, and it is analyzed by using HPLC to determine the amount of drug actually present. The Anderson cascade impactor is most commonly used impactor within the pharma industry for the testing of inhaled product. Next is in vivo evaluation. In vivo, animal study is carried out to get information on drug deposition, metabolism, absorption, and kinetic profile, as well as drug and formulation tolerability. In only advanced research, non-human primates are used. By contrast, small rodents are used for the studies on pulmonary drug delivery. Large mammals have longer airways than the small rodents. In vitro evaluation. Here, in vitro model is used. In vitro evaluation involves pulmonary drug absorption studies. Here, cell line model is used to study pulmonary drug absorption through cell. It is significant that epithelial cell form a dense monolayer in order to characterize the natural epithelial barrier. Monolayer tension and reliability are classically assessed by measuring transepithelial electrical resistance and potential difference across the monolayer. So in this method, epithelial cells are used from dense monolayer to know the natural epithelial barrier. In this method, transepithelial electrical resistance is used to know the monolayer tension, reliability, and potential difference across the monolayer. This method permits the categorization of drug transport and evaluation of potential drug and formulation toxicity. As you can see, these are some of the marketed formulation. Biclomethasone dipropionate of Cipla Limited, fluticasone propionate of GlaxoSmithKline, salbutamol of Cipla Limited. Now the application of pulmonary drug delivery. First, in asthma and COPD, some drug like levosalbutamol shows a greater efficiency in the treatment of asthma. Second, in patients on ventilator, using baby mask is one of the example of pulmonary drug delivery. Third, in diabetes, insulin inhaler is one of the example of it. In fourth, in migraine, the example is ergotamine that is given via metered dose inhaler was successfully to treat migraine headache. Conclusion. Pulmonary drug delivery is an important research area for the treatment of asthma, COPD, and various diseases. In treatment of obstructive respiratory diseases, pulmonary delivery minimizes the systemic side effect. It provides rapid response and also minimize the required dose as the drug directly delivered into the conducting zone of the lung. It is a needle-free technique that have been developed in the recent past to improve the quality of the pulmonary drug delivery system without affecting their integrity. As pulmonary drug delivery is useful for multiple diseases, it is the best route of administration. These are some of the references. Thank you for giving me your precious time. Thank you.